Health benefits of taking vacations. If you are not someone who takes vacations, you should be. And I'm going to tell you many reasons why you should today. Also, if you work with someone who doesn't honor time off, send them this video, even anonymously. Just write it down on a Post-it and put it in the middle of that computer screen that person's going to look at later, and get them to watch this, because if you received that Post-it note, welcome. I'm Dr. Jane, and we are about to talk about why you should allow your employees no guilt and no additional stress when they decide to take vacations. A lot of people's companies will buy back their vacation time, and it's actually one of the worst things that they could do, because their people are going to be less productive. So we're going to talk about not only success at work, why vacations help to boost that, but we're going to talk about all sorts of physical and mental health elements that coincide with taking vacation. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. As always, I'm going to ask you to check and see if you're a subscriber here, and if not, click that subscribe button and the bell so that you learn when we drop videos like this to help you live a happier, more successful life. We'll be right back.
GILD Coaching. More success, less stress.
I'm a psychotherapist that operates mainly in the executive coaching space. And one of the most common things that I'm told when I first start to coach an executive as a new client is, oh, no, I don't have time to take vacation, so I just sell it back to the company. Or I don't have time to take vacation, so I just let it expire. No. All right, vacation exists for a reason. It's not just because your company wants you to go have fun. It's because you need elongated breaks from the stress of everyday work. And if you're one of those people that says, oh, my work is not stressful, everything carries at least an element of success. Sorry, I had to think about how to say that just perfectly. Everything is stressful in some way. Cooking dinner for your family, even if you love cooking, is stressful in some way, because there's certain things that you need to do when you need to do them in order for everything to turn out okay. It may be stress that you enjoy, but it's still a stress factor that's being introduced to your body. So even if you love your work, as I do, I love my work, I love what I do, I love my clients, I love this. Thank you for being here and allowing me to do this. But it does still involve an element of stress. And so I need to take breaks just like anybody else, because your body is not a robotic machine that is built to just not stop. Okay, so sleeping at night, taking small breaks during the day, that is just day-to-day maintenance. But every once in a while, just like vehicle owners have to do, they send their car into the shop for a big overhaul. Okay, so your vacation is basically your big overhaul. I recommend that people take at least one vacation every year, if not supplementing that with either a second vacation or a mini vacation, which is like an elongated weekend, something like that. And when I say vacation, I don't mean you go home and do a different type of work, like a staycation, a working at your house. Sometimes that's necessary. You got to do that. I get it. I'm talking about leisure time. Time for you to unplug, time for you to do the things that you love. If you love hiking, it's time for you to hike. You don't have to travel somewhere and adopt all of those expenses for it to be a vacation. Vacationing starts up here. So here are several things that will benefit you if you vacation. You'll have lower stress. Scientific studies have linked vacationing to a lower risk for heart disease, heart attack. It gives you a more positive mindset. And it allows you to be more successful in the work that you do. Why? Because when you reduce that stress, when you break that pattern and give your body time to rest from it, it increases your sense of motivation. So physically, there is a study that was published in the New York Times, I believe, that showed that people who vacationed once every 2 years, now that's a lot less frequently than what I've suggested to you, but once every 2 years versus once every 6 or more years, have twice as less, like twice reduced risk of any sort of heart disease or disorder. That's one vacation every 2 years. I'm going to tell you kind of the parameters for vacation. It's not one day. It's a little bit longer than that. Okay, but vacationing at least once every 2 years significantly reduces twice, significantly reduces your chance of heart disease. Also, mentally, when your stress is lower, your healing and rejuvenation functions in your body are higher. It's just because your body doesn't have all of that weight to carry. Have you ever walked around with a really, really heavy purse or a really, really heavy backpack or something all day and you're like, oh man, and then you remove that stress from your body and all of a sudden you feel better? Same thing with stress, but stress impacts your whole instrument. It impacts your entire human body. And so you've got to give it a break, just like removing the physical weight from the backpack would do. Okay. Also, it gives you a higher level of well-being. And here's your parameter for vacations. These are all of the things that I'm telling you today are based in scientific studies. So this isn't just my opinion that I'm giving you. I'm giving you other people's independent scientific studies on rest, rejuvenation, and vacation. After 3 days, after 3 full days, and I'm talking about unplugged 3 days. I'm not talking about you're taking your email with you. You're still checking emails. You're still getting calls from your boss. You're still getting calls from your team. You're still getting calls from your peers. No, I'm talking about 3 unplugged days. Put the freaking devices away. They'll live. After 3 full days, the people who were complaining of physical ailments stopped complaining of physical ailments. Their physical condition immediately went up. Their sleep improved after 3 full unplugged days, and their mood improved after 3 full unplugged days. So your vacation needs to be at least 3 fully unplugged days. And this particular study that I'm quoting right now found that the positive effects from that 3+ day vacation last 5 to 6 weeks in the future. That's just from a 3-day, a 5 to 6 week improvement. And it exponentially elongates based on how long your vacation is. So I highly recommend a full calendar week, 7 days, 10 days if you can. I know that that's a really long time, especially for people who are like, I can't be away from work that long. But if you can even attach 3 business days to a weekend, that's 5 days. Get out of town. Or even if you can't afford to get out of town, do things in your area that people would do if they didn't live in your area but were visiting. Turn yourself into a tourist. Okay. Also, another benefit of taking regular vacations, people who have long-term relationships, whether it's a spousal partnership, long-term friendships, whatever, those relationships are healthier, longer, and happier when both of the people involved in them take regular vacations. And here's the kicker. They don't have to travel together. One of my very first mentors in my life was my 10th grade English teacher. She has passed in the last few years. Her name was Sue Madison, and she and her husband each took 2 vacations a year. One vacation was together, and one vacation was not the same week as the other person. They went somewhere either with friends or by themselves. She's actually the reason that I started to travel alone, because I was like, that would be really interesting. And it is. You get to know yourself in a different way, in a different place. So they would actually have, each of them would have 2 weeks every year without the other person. And they wouldn't check in, they wouldn't call, they wouldn't whatever. But when they'd come back from their solo vacation, they would share, here's where I went, these are the things that I did, these are, here's my pictures, and blah, 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 blah. And she, Mrs. Madison, Sue, told me one time that she credited those weeks of her solo vacation and her husband's solo vacation with the survival of their 66-year-long happy, very happy marriage. So vacation together and apart. Leave each other sometimes, only to return to celebrate their reunion. All right, finally, if you vacation, you seriously reduce your risk of burnout. You will be more productive when you go back. It's just like whenever I coach executives, I encourage them to take, years ago when I was a journalist, people would take smoke breaks all the time. I tell them to take fresh air breaks instead of smoke breaks. Don't smoke. But I ask them to do that at least 3 times during a regular business day. Go take a fresh air break, walk, spend as much time as it would take a smoker to smoke a cigarette outside, fresh air, out of your office, standing, walking, alone, thinking, breathing, practicing mindfulness. And when you come back to your office, then you can be even more productive. You're not going to burn out. That is a way to do these breaks on a daily basis. On a weekly basis, you need to take some breaks as well. But on a semi-annual, annual, or biannual basis, you must unplug for 3 to 7 days to let your body reset from all of the everything that the world throws at it all the time. Those are just some of the main health benefits of taking vacations. I hope that as soon as you finish this video, you go and you plan your next one. If this was of help to you, you found it interesting, give me a thumbs up. And before you go, please do subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't done so already, so that you'll learn the next time that we drop a video like this to help you live a happier life with lower chance of burnout and much, much more success. See you soon.